For most people who migrate to the United States or abroad, the expectation is that life is like they see on a TV sitcom where people dress nicely and walk around in the house all day, and breakfast table is full with muffins and croissants, and orange juice is served with cereal and eggs, and life is a bliss. But as soon as reality sets in, those who are smart enough not to have sold off everything and move here perhaps have a house back home in Jamaica that they need to rent. And to rent, they need security of income, and they need someone who can be relied on to actually do that. One of the ways to ensure that is to make sure you understand the process of renting a house in Jamaica. Hi, welcome to Wake Up and Live with Bob. If you're a Jamaican living abroad who was smart enough, like most Jamaicans, not to have sold their property before they left, you now have the option of making good money from rent of your property back home because the real estate market is really good. Now, whether or not we like it, one of the safest way to do so would be to begin with registering your property with the Rent Assessment Board of Jamaica. The Rent Assessment Board of Jamaica can be reached at rentassessmentboard.jm.com. I'll put everything in my description box below. You can view it once you're done with the video. I'll give you a series of steps that I suggest to be the best way to go about renting your property. All right. The Rent Assessment Board, by the way, just to let you know, has the same power in terms of the parish magistrate, the parish resident magistrate court. I'm sorry. When it comes to landlord and tenant disputes, all right, it has its own tribunal, and it will resolve the matter sometimes. Well, not sometimes. Most cases, the rent assessment board will resolve the landlord-tenant dispute much faster than the courts. All right. So to begin, I want to tell you, if you have a property in Jamaica that you're trying to rent, one of the first thing I'm going to suggest you do is, one, make sure your bank account, your Jamaican bank account, is in good order. If you don't have one, go ahead and open one. All right, you will need that for for the deposits in your account. You can monitor your deposits from wherever you are in the world, but with online banking. All right, whether the agreement is that your tenant deposit in your bank account, or it is that you have a caretaker who will collect and deposit in there. You can monitor whether or not the caretaker put the money in your account, or whether the tenant put the money in your account. All right. So once you have established resurrecting or reactivating your account, or check to make sure your account is in good order, the next thing you want to do is to go ahead and register with the Rent Assessment Board of Jamaica. All right, they can assist you with proper rent agreement or lease agreement. They call it. It can they can assist you with settling disputes between you and your tenant, or in whichever case, if you're a tenant, it can help you settle disputes with your landlord, vice versa. All right. In fact, they facilitate both the landlord and the tenant equally. Okay. Next, they can help you with you have a property and you're not sure how much you can get for the property, or what's reasonable, or what's fair market value. They will come out and assess your property for you and give you a ballpark point of what you should charge for that property and why, so you can have an idea of what it is your property is worth and how and why you're charging what you charge. Because there's some unscrupulous landlord, I must say, that charge people a whole lot of money for dirt, for dump. I know that. I've seen them myself, for facilities that don't work. Um, a rat infested place for a lot of money, and that is not fair. You never want to do that, because tenants will leave your property angry and will do things that I won't mention on camera to give anybody ideas, but they'll do things to your property as they as they leave. All right. The good thing about being hooked up with a rent assessment board, by the way, is that you can actually track a tenant that disappeared on you, or or little issues like that that may require legal action. Okay. The next thing, find yourself a trusted caretaker, maybe a family member or someone who can actually trust. Uh, there's some real estate companies that will actually provide a service of managing your property for you for a fee. You can you might want to check those out as well. But to make it cheaper on yourself, if you have someone, a trusted family member who can be a caretaker, who can actually check on your rent, or say check on repairs that was done, so a contractor repairing your property doesn't actually rip you off, or just for the security, to check on your property to make sure the your tenants aren't wrecking your property, especially if you rent your property furnished. Okay. So those are the 4 tips. I'm gonna review them first. Make sure your bank account is in order, or get a bank account. Register with the Rent Assessment Board of Jamaica. There's a nominal fee of currently of $20. It is going to go up because the government is actually assessing the fees pay for membership, and it is this is so because the Rent Assessment Board is given major powers at this point to settle disputes between landlords and tenants. So as those powers increase, of course there will be a little increase on your there'll be increase on your fees to join. So if you have a property in Jamaica to rent, now is a good time to actually do that, when the fee right now, I believe, is $20. And that fee has been around since, I believe, since the Rent Act of I think 1983. All right. So again, get your bank account in order. Register with the Rent Assessment Board. Get a trusted caretaker to handle your affairs or overlook it. And fourth, I forgot to mention this one. Fourth, register with the Jamaica tax.gov.jm website. That's the website, government's website for paying your property taxes. Jamaica tax.gov.jm. It is important that you pay and keep your taxes for your property current. Make sure it's up to date. So if you ever have any dispute with your tenant and you have to go to court, or you have to go to the Rent Assessment Board tribunal, which has the same power on this matter as the courts would have, you need to have your taxes up to date. I'm just giving you that as a little sidebar. That you need to have your taxes up to date, because those things will come into question. All right. And one more little reminder: the idea of registering with the Rent Assessment Board of Jamaica is not a thing that I suggest you should do. It is actually the law, and more it's becoming required for property owners wanting to rent to actually do that. Again, okay. So, renting your property in Jamaica is a good idea. The market is prime right now. Find yourself a good real estate agent, or you can do your advertisement on your own. But register with the Rent Assessment Board to actually ensure that you are protected from some of the little hanky pankies that can go on with the tenants. and make sure you have some other benefits, such as getting directives as to writing a rent or lease agreement, and some of the other protection you need if you have a dispute. All right. So thanks for watching. If you found what I said informative, please remember to subscribe, like, and share my video. All right. And thank you for watching. This is Wake Up and Live with Bob.